often do you say as a ukulele player, oh, I don't really play an instrument, I just play a couple of chords, I'm just a beginner, I'll just hide at the back of the group, I don't want to be at the front, I'll never be able to do that, oh, I'm not good enough to do any of those things, I'll never be able to play like that. If any of that sounds like you, then this video today is for you. Hello, my name's Ukulele Saz, welcome back to another video. This week we are talking about getting uncomfortable, getting out of your comfort zone, and ultimately growing in confidence and becoming a much happier ukulele player that plays a lot better and simply has a lot more fun. If you really like this video, don't forget to give it a little like, leave me a comment, you can subscribe to my channel so that you can get all of the updates on all of my videos that come out each week. And if you really like my stuff, you can check out my Buy Me a Coffee page where you'll get access to all of my lesson materials, weekly challenges, live monthly lessons and more. So don't forget to check that out at Ukulele Saz too. Today we are going to cover what is confidence, what is the comfort bubble and the comfort zone, how do we actually get uncomfy, and how does that then lead to making us more confident. So what actually is confidence? If you look up a dictionary meaning, it most likely will say something to do with the quality of being sure of yourself, of having a belief in yourself that you're able to do things. I think that's quite a vague explanation because I do think confidence is a number of things. Someone I listen to a lot is Mel Robbins. She's probably one of the most inspirational people I've ever listened to, and she talks all about confidence as well as many other kind of life topics. And something that she said really stood out to me. She said that confidence is something that you develop like any other skill. Confidence is not something that's a personality trait, it's something that can be learned. And confidence, my favourite thing that she said is confidence is actually the willingness to try. Because I think the more that you actually try something, the more you put yourself out there, the more you face your fears, the more that starts to build and develop within you, and the more you'll grow in character, and the more you will start to actually believe in yourself as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is the comfort zone. Many of us remain in this place in different aspects of life, and sometimes that's okay. But if you want to grow as a person, if you want to learn a little bit about yourself, if you want to develop a skill, get better, then it's really about bursting out of that comfort zone, out of the fear zone, and into your growth and learning zone. Now, this can be quite difficult because what happens in our comfort zone is we are very tuned in with our surroundings, with our environment. We don't really want things to change. We're not really in a position to make ourselves feel uncomfortable. It can cause us a little bit of stress and anxiety. But actually, when you start to push yourself a little bit through that uncertainty and through that little anxiousness at the beginning where you're a bit uncertain of what could happen, that's when you really start to see the changes. Many people that I come across when I teach, especially adults, are so stuck in their comfort zone and their fear zone, they don't believe in themselves to actually push themselves out there. And it can be an okay place to be, but I think over time, it can really start to become a little bit self-deprecating, and then your belief in yourself just starts to get smaller and smaller. And it's a shame because I see it so much. I see it in adults more so than kids. Kids have a fearlessness about them. They don't have the same responsibilities and they've not had the same experience to know that things can go wrong. But actually, when you're an adult, of course things are going to go wrong. Lots of things go wrong in life. It's about how you turn that around and how you use your mindset to change that and put it in a different direction. Something else about the comfort zone is you're not really being tested, you're not really being challenged. And this is why so many people stick within their comfort bubbles of playing the same couple of chords. They stick with their strumming patterns and they immediately put barriers up and say, I'm not going to be able to do that. But it doesn't have to be that way. And actually, once you start changing your mindset a little bit, there's a few simple things that you can try that will really help you from getting out of the comfort zone, getting a little bit uncomfy, baby steps, and lead you to a place where you are starting to enjoy your practice more, grow a little bit more, and just have a much better time through your journey. So here are 5 different ways that you can burst right out of that comfort bubble and into a place of growth. So the first thing is awareness. Be aware of where you're at currently. What are your current habits? What do you currently do when you practice, when you play, when you're in a group? What level are you at currently? Check in with yourself and think, where am I at now? And be totally honest with that too. How would you describe where you are in your journey? Are you very much a beginner? Are you a happy strummer that's been plodding along for years and years, not making a huge amount of progress? Are you an overachiever who's trying to do too many things and panicking because you're trying to do it all now rather than trusting the process? Check in with yourself and spend a little bit of time on that. Part 2. This is one of my favourite ones, and I think it's one of the most important, is language. What language do you use when you describe yourself? Oh, I'm terrible at this. Oh, I'm not very good at that. I'll never be able to do that. I'm rubbish. That talk sucks. Just putting it bluntly, that talk sucks. Why would you speak to yourself like that? Would you speak to a friend like that? Would you speak to somebody you know and love like that? So why are you doing it to the most important person there is? There's no, what good is that going to do? If you're being negative towards yourself, how are you going to start making positive changes? Mindset is everything and language is everything. So check in with yourself and be aware. Try and catch when you are giving yourself that negative self-chat, and try and make that a little bit more positive and constructive, because language is so important. And when we start becoming nicer to ourselves, that's when good changes will also start to happen. Number 3, know your now and own it. If you know you want to be able to hit a certain goal, but you are all the way back here, that's okay. Own it. It's okay to be a beginner. It's okay not to be good at something. You have to go through the journey, and everybody has to start somewhere. And I think that's super important. When you can actually embrace and accept where you are in your journey right now, all of a sudden it becomes more exciting and it doesn't seem like you're doing a terrible job. As I said, we've all got to start somewhere. Good things take time. Number 4, dream big, step small. It's okay to have big dreams and big goals. I am somebody that has got massive dreams and goals. I always have. And what I've always found is that when you set yourself little tiny tasks and goals that kind of gradually help you step to get there, that can work wonders, because it means that rather than constantly thinking about the end goal and feeling so far away from it, you're making gradual little moves to get there. And anytime you hit a goal, that's a feel-good factor. And anytime you put yourself out there and try something new that you've not done before, straight away you're starting to build confidence, you're starting to grow a little bit, and then you're a little bit more motivated to try something else. And then once you've done that, you've achieved that little step. Oh, that was good, I'm going to do that again. And before you know it, that starts to become very infectious, and you're already halfway to reaching your goal without even really thinking about it. And that is such a nice feeling. Pair that with some nice positive self-talk and being nice to yourself. Happy days. The last one, number 5, embrace failure and laugh. So many people get upset, they get frustrated with themselves, me included, when things don't go to plan, things don't go their way. I started rock climbing a couple of years ago and thought, I'm going to be really good at this. I've done martial arts, I'm quite sporty, fit and active. And I was terrible when I started climbing. And I ended up not enjoying myself for the first little while because I was so embarrassed to fail. I would get upset, I would cry, I would be so frustrated when I couldn't do it. I'd get stuck in my head. And that actually didn't do me any favours at all. It wasn't until I managed to get to a place where I could laugh when I messed things up that I actually started to enjoy myself. The thing is, when you're actually trying something, even if you fail, you're making progress, you're building confidence, and you are getting better. It's just the attitude. Again, tie that in with the language. When you start to laugh at things, when you can laugh at your own failures, the successes are just going to be even greater. Because you know what? We're all going to fail. All the best people in life have failed. So what's a little bit of failure to actually get the things that you want, rather than constantly hoping and wishing and praying that one day you'll be able to do it, but taking no action on it and staying exactly where you are. Because that's what happens, and I see it happen so many times. People don't embrace failure. People are so terrified of failure that they stay in the same place. They don't even try to get better, and then they get more miserable, they moan, they complain, and they're just not pleasant to be around. So why be that person? Be a little bit nicer to yourself. Start trying new things. Embrace those failures. Have a little laugh about it. and it will honestly make the world of difference. All of these things take time. This is not a process that changes instantly. These things are gradual changes, so the awareness phase might take a little bit of time for you to get through. And actually, you might go through an awareness phase for a long time and realise that you are quite negative about how you speak. But over time, maybe a few months, a year, the more you're aware of that and start taking action on it, you'll see massive transformations within yourself. Okay, so those are my top 5 tips. So what actually happens when we start doing those things? What actually happens as these processes and these things start to make changes within us? Well, you should notice a massive shift mentally. You might find that you've got a little bit more of a spring in your step. When your language is more positive about yourself, you feel better about yourself. You believe in yourself a little bit more. This should then make you feel a little bit more encouraged to keep trying new things. Maybe you'll set more goals for yourself and giving yourself little goals along the way. And what you'll start to find is you become a little bit happier. You become a little bit more sure of where you're at right now and encouraged to keep going to the next level. And also, one of my favourite things about confidence in people is when you're confident within yourself and when people can see that you're confident within yourself, that starts to rub off on others. When other people see confident people, that can then help influence their mindset as well and encourage them to change too. So when you start doing that, people feel that energy. When you become confident, that energy will rub off on others. It's all about believing in yourself, and the only person that can make the changes is you. And you've got to be nice to yourself. So be aware of where you're at, accept where you're at, start being a little bit nicer to yourself, embrace the failures and laugh along the way. And you will be winning and you will notice a difference in no time. As I said, trust the process. Good things do take time, and I firmly believe that. Yeah, I hope that's been something a little bit different today. I think it's just something that we need to hear sometimes, so I hope in some way that it has been helpful for you. As I said as well, I've also got my Buy Me a Coffee page. There's always lesson materials to go. I've got a whole sheet on confidence, getting uncomfortable, getting out of your comfort zone. I do a live lesson every month as well where we break down a song and we'll go through some techniques together. Yeah, so if you'd like to check that out, Ukulele Saz. You can also follow me on social media for all of my life and journey as a full-time ukulele teacher in Scotland and Glasgow. Yep, and if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you the next time.